Vaccinations. Just over half of all Texas residents over 18 are fully vaccinated. That's ahead of neighboring states such as Oklahoma and Louisiana, and well behind New York and California. I'm Andrew Schneider in Houston. This is NPR. Supporting NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include Tire, offering a selection of tires, shopping tools, and resources to help people find the right tires for their car and driving conditions. Learn more at TireRack.com. The use of force incidents grew wider in Burlington last year, according to recently released city data. As VPR's Ian Elder Cars reports, the gap increased despite overall use of force incidents decreasing.
Releasing Vermont's largest city used force against 160 people in 2020.
Hello.
31% were black.
How are you doing? Oh, it's okay. Don, D-O-N, Slish, S-L-I-S-H. If you look up in your records, I think you've talked to my wife before. Her name is Erica Donis, D-O-N-N-I-S. Yeah. Okay, good. Right. See, I'm. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, carpenter ants. You see, I'm a woodworker, and I like old wood, and I bring it in, and oops, you know, I I like to spray it up good with an ant and roach spray and let it sit out for a little bit, and then bring it in. But sometimes I miss them, you know. Yeah, yeah. Can you hang on one second? Hang on. Hello, Becca. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Sorry I was late. I had some service connections.
Oh, that's okay. I'm on a phone call I need to do. Give me about 5 minutes and I'll be set, okay?
Not a problem. That's fine. Take your time.
I'm back.
Okay, perfect.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Did you, are you at Plattsburgh State yet, or are you just starting this fall?
I've had one successful year and then I'm coming back this fall, but I went home for this summer.
You can call that last year successful. You've done well.
Thank you. It was very
Oh,
difficult, but
rough year.
I did.
Yeah.
I was so annoyed though. I got a 3.45 GPA. I was so close. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. But
It'll be much better face to face. It always is.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, especially with the classes that I have next
Uh-huh.
semester. I can't wait to just be able to go back and like actually
Uh-huh.
see my teachers, meet my classmates, because it was so hard to keep up with everything online.
Yeah, yeah.
It's easy at first, but then
Mhm.
you just get accustomed to it, I think, and then you just kind of fall back, and it's easy to fall back. And
Yeah,
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 when you're
yeah.
in person, it's more like, come on, you got to do this. Like, you
Right,
got to
right.
go.
I'm gonna see this guy tomorrow. I better make sure I know what I'm talking about, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I better make sure I know. But thank you
Okay.
so much for meeting with me.
Oh, no problem. This is my
Yeah,
job.
perfect. I've been asking and asking everyone, and
Yeah,
everyone's like, I don't really have anything to tell you. You should go see this
yeah.
person. You should go see this person. And finally, I was like, go talk to Slish again. Like, go see if he can just give
Yeah,
you some info.
right.
I will be meeting with Dr. Mania soon. He's
Hmm.
got some weird hours this summer. He's
Yeah,
probably not on campus, so I'm trying to
right.
meet with him as soon as I can. But that won't be for a couple weeks.
Okay.
But
Have
I
you,
just,
uh,
yeah.
have you,
Sorry, go ahead.
are you taking his class in the fall?
No, I'm gonna try to take his class at some point. It's still the medical
Okay.
terminology, right?
Yeah, I think he's gonna do it every semester, at least starting out that way. We'll see how many students he gets. It may go to once a year, but we'll see.
Yeah, next semester I'm taking AMP1, organic chemistry, general genetics, and intro to health professions.
Okay, good, good.
Does that sound solid?
That sounds solid. That sounds really good. A lot of science.
Okay.
That's what I like.
Okay, good. And I took your pharmacology class over the winter, but
Oh,
of
did
course
you?
it was on web. It was on web, so we
Yeah,
never met or anything. But
right,
yeah,
right, right. My personality comes out much more in person.
I can tell. It's great. I loved watching the lectures, though. I wish I could have
Uh,
had you in person because you seem like a really good professor. So,
yeah, well, thanks.
of
You will
course.
eventually. You will eventually. I've got cell biology, and then I also do an upper level elective in the fall. So,
Oh, perfect. I will definitely make sure to get that elective then. That's one of the
okay.
ones I'm struggling to piece together. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just had some questions,
Hmm.
and it was more so about like my career.
Hmm.
I've pretty much been able to puzzle out the next 2 years so that I can graduate on time, get all my credits in. And
Hmm.
now I'm starting to look at and wonder, like I said in the email, if adding a double minor would help or
Hmm.
hurt me in any way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The thing is, it looks good if you really do something with it. Like let me give you some examples. So some people are like, okay, I'm a bio major, but I've got a chem minor. Well, that doesn't really mean anything.
Exactly. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm a bio major and I've got a business minor and I published a paper in business. So it's like, two really strong aspects, instead of like it's just more of the same. So if you were a psych, if you wanted to do a psych minor, that'd be great. Also add to that, and I work in this developmentally disabled thing because it's really important to me. And you know
Mhm.
what I mean? It's like more of a personal interest than you did it to check off a box to say, look, I have a minor. You know what I mean?
Right. And is there a neurobiology minor?
There is. It's actually in the biology. I think it's shared between the biology and psych departments. Do you know Amy Ryan at all?
No, I haven't had her yet.
Okay, you can talk to her about it. She's the one who set it up, and she's the neurobiologist in our department. And actually, the uh, pharmacology of recreational drugs is in that minor, so you've got at least one class down already.
Perfect, because I did see that that was in the psych minor. I was looking, and
Yeah.
taking the psych minor would only be an extra 4 classes. So I was like,
Okay.
that's really not bad at all. But I'll have to
Yeah.
look into the neurobio. It's probably the same thing, wouldn't you say?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that
And you said
email I
Amy
sent you,
Ryan.
Amy Ryan. Yeah.
Okay.
if in that email I sent you, if there's a link where I said neurobiology or I think that's what it's called. Click on that, and that'll take you to the minor in the catalog.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. That's
Sure.
awesome. So that's really helpful because,
And
yeah, a lot of them were just saying, like, it'll just hurt you. It'll just hurt you.
yeah,
And I was like, how can it hurt me if it's like something that makes me stand out? You know what I
right,
mean?
right. And
Because I'm trying to go to med school. So it's like, I really need to stand out.
yeah, and when you talk to Amy, find out what kind of research she's doing, because there you go. I've got a minor in this, and I was doing research, and hopefully we publish something.
Right.
That's
Because
what
even
looks
then,
really good.
because that was another question I was going to ask you if there was any research opportunities that you knew of, because
Mhm.
that was another feedback I got is if I can get into research as soon as possible, then
Right,
that would be really, really good. So I'll definitely
right.
ask her about that.
Yeah, as soon as possible is a good thing, because you don't want to look like, again, you're not just checking off a box. Oh, I did research. You got into
Right.
it, you worked it for a year and a half, and you made a presentation, and it was important.
Right. And I could talk to someone about it for hours and hours and actually be
Yeah, yeah,
interested.
right,
Right.
exactly.
Is the CDPH internship still available or is that too late?
It should be. We don't need to set it up until like the last moment is like the second week of the fall semester. So contact me in August, and we'll get that set up.
Okay, yeah. When in August, would you say what's better for you?
I would
We
say
moved up the week of the 10th.
probably the last week, because I put everything off until the last week.
Hey, you got to live the summer. I totally understand.
You can see I'm not dressed professionally today, and you can
Hey,
probably
me
tell from the knotty pine that I'm at the lake.
Hey, that's a good day right there, especially
Yeah.
how hot it is.
Yeah, definitely.
End of August. All right, so I will reach out to you for the internship end of August.
Okay.
And then the only other questions I had would be after Plattsburgh.
Hmm.
What med school should I start looking at
Right.
as far as, being cost efficient as well as being a good idea for what I want to be? I want to be a trauma surgeon in MSF.
Oh,
And
wow.
MSF, yeah, that's my
Okay.
ultimate goal. So and then once I throw that out there, everyone's like, everyone's like, I don't really know. So
I bet you Todd Mania would be good to tell you about that, because he's the ER doc guy, so he would know a lot about that kind of thing.
okay.
I would say that the key would be to do some Google searching on med schools and what their strength is. Like the one I know is SUNY Upstate, and they're into rural medicine, family medicine stuff. So that might not be the best fit. Although once you get your MD, you can go anywhere. But still, that might be your best. That would be a way to get at that question.
So just like med school strengths, and it'll list it for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And in terms of cost effectiveness, of course, SUNYs are always the cheapest, but
Right.
that also means they're the most competitive. They can be competitive because, free.
Right, exactly. I know. I was looking at the NYU program that has like
Yeah.
it TAPS or something that pays for it, and
Uh-huh.
it's one of the most competitive in the country because it's pretty much
Yeah.
free. So,
Right, right.
what SUNY
No-
schools have a med school? I didn't realize SUNY had any med schools.
SUNY Upstate is Syracuse.
Okay.
There's a SUNY Downstate. I think SUNY Buffalo has got a med school. Again, just search SUNY medical school list, and it'll give you or just New York State med schools, and they'll come up.
Right. Would
Another
it
thing I was
be
just
worthwhile to go out of state, do you think, for med school?
worthwhile. See, when it comes to going out of state, I mean, New York's got great med schools, but they also have a lot of kids who want to go to med school, so it can be kind of competitive.
Right.
When I think about going out of state, I always think of someone who's got like a borderline application, and you move to a state where they've got an easier way to get in, like,
Right.
for example, UVM in Vermont. I live in Vermont, and the University of Vermont, if you're a Vermont resident, it's a lot easier to get into med school than if you're not a Vermont resident. So I tell people, if you're struggling, move to Vermont, work for a couple of years, become a resident, and then apply. you know. Of course, that's a longer runway because, you're talking about probably 4 years before you get into med school. But
Right.
it's a plan anyway. It's a long-term plan.
Right.
Here's another thought too. If you're worried about cost, have you thought about the Army at all or Navy or something like that? Because I mean, a trauma surgeon, they would be a good place to train.
I've thought about that. I don't really know how all of that works. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know if I'd be comfortable enough to go out to war. I mean, it definitely would be
Yeah.
good if I'm going into MSF. It'd be good experience and everything.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how that whole thing worked, or if it was too late. I'm already at Plattsburgh,
Oh, it's not too late. You should start if you're interested at all. You should talk to. I can hook you up with a guy to talk to, and the way it works is you have to you start talking to them. You get your application ready. You have to get accepted in med school, and then you apply. So it's definitely not too late.
Okay.
And it's funny when you think about the Army and all this stuff. You always think about wartime and battle and everything, and it's like that's about 10% of what they do.
Really?
Over the world.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you were like a Navy surgeon, when was the last time we had a Navy battle? I think it was 1945.
Yeah, true.
You might be the person that someone's injured, a Marine gets injured, they fly them out to the ship, and then you're there on the ship working with them.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be in theater, but you should talk to them because they know more about it than I do. I can hook you up with the Army guy, but you'd also look into the Navy programs, Air Force programs.
No, I will definitely take that contact yeah.
Okay. Because, we just had a kid get one of these scholarships this year, and it's like they pay for everything and they pay you to go to school. Basically, you're getting about $2,500 to $3,000 a month to go to school, and they pay all your expenses.
And that sounds so lovely.
Back with time later. So when you're in your residency, you're in the Navy or whatever, which means you're going to see the most interesting cases.
True.
Here it's going to be mostly drunks who ran their car off the road.
True, exactly. You're definitely going to see more trauma when you're in the Navy.
Yeah, right. So I'll send you that address, and you can look him up.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I think that was mostly it. I just,
Okay.
I'm having a trouble piecing together what's going to happen after Plattsburgh, basically.
Right.
Like, I know that, well, I'm in Plattsburgh. I know I need to take my classes that I need to take, that I need to do some research or get into a lab or something like that,
Right.
and build up the resume for med school. But as far as once graduation comes from Plattsburgh.
So you want to have like your short-term, medium-term plan together. So basically short-term, we're going to hope that you're going to be a junior this year or sophomore? Sophomore?
Junior.
Okay. So next spring, if you want to go right after college and not have a gap year, then you want to apply in June next year, June of 22. Okay, which means taking the MCAT as soon as possible. And MCAT is key. I mean, if you don't do well in the MCAT, you won't get into med school. So that's really, really important.
And when should I take that? And I can take it multiple times too?
You can, but they'll see all the scores. So you don't want to mess up really bad once,
But like the SAT.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So, I would say, for you, I would start thinking about a gap year because you haven't had organic chemistry yet. And the test is going to include organic and biochemistry. So you might want to think about, a gap year as part of your program, which means that maybe you'd go through organic this year, and next summer when you've got time and you can really put a lot of work into studying for the MCAT, do your MCAT, or even save it till the winter. And then the following spring, in June 1st, have everything ready and get in. The thing about the AMCAS, which is the system you apply through, it opens June 1st, and a lot of schools do what they call rolling admissions, which means, as soon as your application is ready, they look at it and they make a decision if they want you to do a secondary, and all this stuff starts happening. So, if you don't have everything ready until October, a lot of places are already taken,
Right.
so you want to get in there June 1st, so everything's set. So
And
like
that's for what? For med school?
Yeah, well, everything's set. I mean, you've got your MCAT done, you've got letters of recommendation in, you've got your transcripts sent to them. So your whole application is complete, your personal statement, all this stuff you need to do to apply.
Right.
So June 1st,
And
everything's ready, it's in, the place opens, and boom, they're looking at your application.
is there anyone on campus that helps to make those applications, make sure that it looks good and everything?
That's me.
Okay,
I'll do
perfect.
whatever you need me, especially personal statement wise, because you need to go through several iterations before you really get what you want.
Right.
It wouldn't be a bad idea to start now, even though you don't even need it for 2 years, because then you're kind of getting your head around what you want to do. And then when you think you're getting close to ready, send it to me. I'll look at it. I'll send it to everyone else on the committee. There's two other people on the committee. I should tell you about that. So Cecilia Gregoire is in nutrition, but she used to teach A&P in our department, so she's really good. And then the woman who's running the Intro to Health Professions class now is Brooke Helwig. She's a SUNY alumnus who's a PA. She works at the hospital.
Oh, okay, awesome. Because I'm taking that this semester. So.
Oh, good. You'll see her there. Yeah. She'll probably be large because she's pregnant. And I think I'm not sure when she's due, but actually she may be done by then. Yeah. But anyway.
Well, hopefully I want to have her as a professor.
Yeah. She's great. You'll really like her.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there's that. The other piece is, how about extracurriculars? Do you do any like volunteering or working in healthcare or anything like that?
I haven't, and especially with COVID, I did try getting into Red Cross,
Mhm.
And I was an active member for my fall semester of COVID, but there was nothing I could really go out on or do anything with, so I just was a member,
Right. It's
other
really hard.
than that, no.
You might want to think about it for next summer, since I would suggest you don't apply next year. So for next summer, try and get something set up, like more like a job would be better. Like some of the things you can do are like medical assistant, which I don't think there's even a training course. It's basically people in the hospital. I think they used to call them orderlies. You're doing all the kind of basic work in the hospital.
Okay.
It probably pays $15 an hour, which is better than volunteering.
Yeah.
It's also better than volunteering because you've got responsibility and you're doing more than a volunteer would. Volunteers mostly just watch,
Right.
So.
And I'm going to be in Plattsburgh next semester.
Okay.
I have an apartment next year, so I'll be there year round.
Oh, okay. So here's another option too. Certified nursing assistant is, it's like medical assistant, but on the nursing side. Again, it's like a 3 or 4 week course, and there's a place in Plattsburgh. It's a combination long-term nursing home and rehab facility, and they give you a $2,000 bonus to take the course. You get paid while you're taking the course, but they expect you to stay and work for them. So if you're going to be there full time, you could work there in the summer. You could work at weekends when you're in session. So they don't want you to take the course and then go away. So
right, take their
work.
money and run.
Right. Yeah. So that's another option. So that's the kind of thing you do to show your interest in Medcare. And then also when you're doing stuff like that, you'll have experiences, and that can make your personal statement better, So it shows that you really know what you're talking about. It isn't like you want to stay away from, I always wanted to be a doctor, my grandfather died of a heart attack and I always wished I could help. It's like everybody writes that essay. You want to be like, I've got some experience here and I understand what I'm up against, and this is really what I want.
That does sound a lot better than, I think I know what I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think I know. And then you see blood and you pass out on the floor.
Right. Yeah, they don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I was gonna try to do is get EMT certified and do an EMT
Yep.
course. Is there one in Plattsburgh that I could do like over the winter that you know of or anything?
I don't know when they do it, but I think Clinton Community College has a course in that. Either that, or I think there's like a BOCES in Plattsburgh where you can get it.
Because I tried to do it up here and they never responded to me. So I don't know if
Yeah.
COVID time they couldn't.
Right. Right.
So, okay. And then so basically just start small right now, like start, you know, learning for the MCAT and studying
Right.
for that,
Right.
writing the personal experience and just trying to put together after graduation.
Right, right. In terms of the MCAT too, a little bit of advice. You might want to start with the CARS section. CARS is critical analysis and reasoning. And that's because if you don't have the science background yet, you're going to waste time learning the science when you're going to get it in class anyway. So, and the CARS is one that really beats people up. It's basically critical thinking, you know? And
right.
Science majors don't, I hate to say it, they don't get enough of that. You know, I feel like even myself, I didn't really get a lot of critical reasoning skills until I went to grad school, you know,
right.
like as an undergrad, there's all this you have to know before you get to the point where you're making, you know, critical.
Yeah, where you actually have to start thinking and putting what you know together.
Right. Right. So, yeah, so think about that. Oh, here's another thing. How about the honors program? That's another thing to look into.
The honors program?
Yeah, because you'll get more critical thinking and analysis in that program than in your science major. So basically it's like, I think you need to take 3 or 4 classes that are honors classes. So they're a little bit harder, probably a lot of writing involved. And most of them will go right into your gen eds. So, you know, it's not like a waste or anything.
Okay. And then do you know what's the GPA for that?
I don't remember. I'll send that to you as well.
Okay.
What did I was going to send you something else. What else did I say I was going to send to you?
Army representatives that you know.
Okay. Okay. That. Yeah. Okay. Army rented it. And then the honors program. Okay. And also I'm recording this, so I'll upload it to YouTube and send you the link for this meeting too. And
so I can go back on it. Perfect. Okay. No, that'll be great. That's awesome. Because as much as I write down, I'll probably go look at it and be like, wait, what did he say before this? You know? So,
right.
All right. Perfect. All right. That's so helpful. You have no idea how helpful this has been. And I'm definitely going to keep bugging you. And I'm sorry in advance, but I'm definitely going to keep bugging you and asking for your help.
You know, honestly, this is what I like most about my job. So don't be afraid to ask me.
Okay, that means so much.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I'll definitely look at those contacts and everything, and I'll reach out soon.
Sounds good. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Slick.
Okay, bye.
Bye.